All right, we're out at the home of Raleigh and Patty Nelson. I first saw them, gosh, 4 years ago, I think. And there's some kind of life stuff going on, and we didn't get the project started then, but here we are, and we're back, and we're looking forward to taking great care of them. We got just single-story home here. We're doing a full siding replacement. We're doing an overlay. We're doing a fascia overlay after repairing about 4 areas of rotted fascia. And we are painting the soffit and the porch ceiling as part of our scope of work. We're going to be tearing off they're going to be getting a new roof here sometime in the near future. So we need to tear off this drip cap and the 1x2 drip edge. And we need to do a drip edge replacement with Hardie 1x2. So that's part of our scope of work. We're not painting the garage doors. We are not painting the front door. Okay. We are doing a double garage wrap on these 2 singles over here. All this siding on here, and then the low back part is basically just a big gable if we collapse it. That's all going to be Hardie. We're doing the Cedar Mill Select 8 1/4 standard board, and we are replacing 6 windows total. So we're replacing those with VistaMarks to match most closely the ones that Raleigh already replaced in the back. So we got to them, actually we did Raleigh's mom's house a couple streets over back in the day, and that's how we kind of got attached here. So awesome folks, probably the most fun I've had at an appointment ever in 9 years of working here. But they're awesome folks, and really looking forward to getting this project done. So we're going to do a great job and take great care of them. Not doing anything with this little outrigger right here, really. That's just going to stay where it is. We do have a couple windows up under here that we're going to replace and then also wrap. The front door will be wrapped in a Hardie 1x4, and then we're going to paint the porch ceiling right here. You can see, really good candidate for overlay. Really the only area that isn't, and it'll take about 30 seconds, is ripping off this masonite down below the 2 little aprons on the 2 front windows, and it's pretty much already fallen off. You can see the weather barrier behind it, so there is some sort of weatherboard back there, which is good news. On the soffit, what we were doing, we looked at different options. We were really trying to keep the cost down to a manageable level. So on the soffit, we're just installing soffit vents. We're not cutting new holes. We are installing soffit vents wherever there is a cutout now. The squirrels are getting up in there, pushing the screens up and everything. So we're going to install some soffit vents wherever there is a soffit cutout now. See, this area is one of the worst areas as far as the 1x2 drip edge. It's just completely rotted. So there's no, like I said, we talked about it, and chances of the roofer doing it right and putting on a Hardie drip is probably about 0. So we just came to the decision it's better let us put on the drip edge, and when the roofer comes in, they can just lay the roof down and not have to worry about having a part of the house that's going to be susceptible to weather. So again, back to the soffits, just putting in vents wherever there's cutouts. We're not making any new cutouts. We had to talk about the gabled ends being vented, and how it's really not necessary at all, especially because their new roof will have a ridge vent, and we also got plenty of air through the 2 side gable vents. So those are staying. We're not replacing any of the vents. We're going to paint them, and we're going to trim them out 1x4 just like we would a window. But each of these little holes here that are already cut out will have soffit vents. We decided just to keep it that way. We looked at installing Hardie soffit non-vented on the 2 gable ends, but the cost just wasn't conducive. So again, per their request, we're just putting soffit vents over these areas. Now here's where it gets a little tricky. This hole and this hole, they have screen mesh over them that's been stapled up there. Per Raleigh, what he said basically is we're just going to cover that up with a soffit vent. We talked about there not being really any, good way to replace that without taking out that whole 8-foot section of soffit. And again, cost-wise, decided, just to put vents over this hole and this hole that you can see are screened over. Here's the regular soffit vent cutout. Here's the hole. So we're just going to put soffit vents over those per their request. Again, that's pretty straightforward. Paint the soffit, fascia overlay, drip edge replacement with a Hardie 1x2, and we'll get rid of that metal drip cap, and we will not go back with the metal drip cap. It'll just be a 1x2 Hardie drip. This is one of the windows we're doing here. Again, just keeping it the same. We're not changing configurations on any of them. They'll all be what they are now. So this will be a glider. Coming around to the front, we already pretty much talked about that. We have a picture window and a single hung right here. We're getting rid of the grills. We're not doing any grills. We're just doing clear unobstructed glass. So we will do a picture window closest to the door that will be tempered per building code. This will be a single hung. Okay, pretty straightforward. We're gonna have to cut through to the backyard here in a sec. Again, not doing anything with the garage doors. We're not painting them because they're going to replace the garage doors, and we are wrapping the garage door frames in Hardie. One of the other corners, this guy, minor, right here. This corner of fascia needs some attention. This one a little bit, but we probably are okay up there. It just looks like that edge, but that might need a little attention just on one side. You can see a lot of them have been scabbed in, which made doing fascia overlay here a no-brainer, just because it's time. Again, soffit vent. So for instance, we're not cutting any new holes. We have 1 soffit vent, 2 soffit vents, and 3 soffit vents, and that will be the kind of the formula for the whole house. Is wherever we have a soffit vent, we're going to we're going to install a new metal soffit vent over the hole that's already been cut. Dishes on the roof, so that'll stay, and then we got just pretty straightforward overlay on this side. Gable vents are staying. Wrap the 2 gable vents and paint the vents themselves. This is the kitchen window. That's the last of the 6 windows, and we'll just go back with another glider right there. So we'll go check out the backyard here. We'll talk about that when we get to the back, but we'll go back through the house right now. Okay, so now we're on the back, and this is really even going to be easier in the front. We're not doing anything back here. We're going to provide, or I'm going to provide enough paint for them to paint back here, which Raleigh will do by himself, and enough paint basically to possibly do the garage doors, but I'll take care of that. And back here, really, he's installing vertical sheet siding. He's going to wrap all the windows with the 1x4. I mean, he's kind of a do-it-right kind of guy. Pretty handy, to say the least. But he's doing this himself and already doing it right with the Tyvek and everything else. He put all these windows and doors in himself and did a really nice job. So he's doing the back here. We are not doing anything at all to the sidewalls. We're doing our drip edge replacement all the way across, and we're doing our fascia overlay all the way across. Paint the soffit, install the soffit vents. That's it that we're doing back here. Not cutting any new holes, not doing anything with the sidewall. They're going to do the painting. That's another thing we removed to kind of get the the figure down a little bit. But that's pretty much the kind of the lay of the land back here. Is there'll be Hardie siding on here. We're not doing anything with it. All we're doing is our drip edge replacement, fascia overlay, and then painting the soffit and installing the soffit vents. Not necessarily that in order. We'll install the vents first, obviously, and then paint. So, but that's what we got, guys. Again, just had an absolute blast hanging out with you. So glad that we're finally being able to get this project started for you, and I'm totally excited about the experience you're going to have with us. So thanks so much, and as always, we'll look forward to talking to you soon.